Episode 3. Probably not as many. This is Calcat, the Calcatster, still indoors from the coronavirus thing. We don't have it, but we're indoors on the set 2 weeks in, and nothing else to do involving story. So we're going on to episode 3, Corrosion War Without End, and we're just gonna start it. I read a little ahead. I read episodes 3 and 4, and I also compiled a thing you're never going to see on film, of course, the different cast list of each character that appears. Apparently, everybody that's alive in this one is alive all the way to the end, with the exception of one major character. I won't give him away, but you'll find out in this story. But all the Return of Optimus Prime. It's not Optimus Prime, but although the Return of Optimus Prime, he finds a way back later on. But also like Starscream's ghost, so we'll find out which one that is. And a little hint of some fun stuff going on here. Apparently, this is one of the 7 episodes that guest stars Megatron. I'm gonna give that away. He's in this episode. He's going to show up, and so basically, the premise of episode 3 is that the Autobots split up from the base. They get a cargo ship. The end of the last episode, I guess. They got a cargo ship, and it's weeks later, and the two Autobot commanders have run off to go face the Firelight Systems base. They're going to go to the base. So the opening scene of this story jumps a few weeks ahead, like the last one did, and puts the characters in peril on this other ship. It's another ship elsewhere, another base similar to the one they're on, similar to the space station. Back at the space station, though, it looks like Night Racer's crew is running around on the station trying to keep the station. And ex-Lawbot is nowhere in sight. He has fled and he did not come back. Later on, Alicon, who looks like him, shows up. But he mentioned he had a twin sister. Is it just him in drag? Probably not. Funny, but probably not. Because it would be very 2020 of the story to do that. They wouldn't have done that. No. Well, so we have a brief scene in the beginning. We were able to put all of the episode. Now, in episode 1, we weren't able to put the whole episode in it. We had introduced a new character at the very last minute, and then they did the scouting mission. And I thought that really needed to be in episode 2, so I moved it up, which made episode 2 a little longer. Made it almost roughly about an hour instead of 48 minutes to have the scouting mission and Prime leaving and all that, because I wanted Prime to be in it in part 2, because he was already in the beginning part 1. He's not supposed to be in part 3 at all. So Optimus isn't. This scene opens on the base with Air Flight, also known as Dragon Optimus. That's just what he's called in the script, Air Flight. Dragon Optimus. And Axis Carta. And they're on they've taken a Raider ship and gone to a Decepticon installment. I'm presuming that they have gone through a space bridge. And that's how they got there. Because they don't have warp drive in the system. They said it was a transfer point last episode. So it's possible they found the space bridge and jumped into it with the ship. I'll have to put that in there just to establish that's how they got light years away from the space station, so they can't communicate with Night Racer. But yeah, she could come after them later. Looks like she's gonna take off too to go in another direction. Looks like she's going somewhere too on a ship. So they're not. Yeah. So it is odd. They both have ships, and they're both going in different. Both teams are going in different directions. Yeah, so we'll see how that works. It always works out differently when you film the scenes, and then you realize how it worked in the story. When there's he did very little transitions. He just jumped into the story. Like, okay, we're here, kind of thing. Let's put him over here and over there. I just thought I would add this little leader on at the beginning, making of footage, just to establish that it is continuing that process of weird transitions. But yeah, they do face off with the. It's not the Nemesis. I think it's called something else. The ship. And of course, this sounds like a very Megatron line. So on page 129, he says, "I've got morons on my team." It's like something he'd say. "We're unable to raise any of the groups that got on board the ship before the Autobots sealed it. They've been heading for the bridge." "It doesn't matter where they're heading. You will find them and you will destroy them, or you will be subject to a most grueling and painful punishment." "Yes, mighty Mega." "Oh no, I think it's too late." "It may be too late." A reference to a very cheesy mid-90s porn movie clip. This guy, that was this. It was a guy. Yeah, I may be too late. He came in the clip. That's why he was too late. I may be too late. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know why that's in there. I don't think he saw the same clip. I think it's just a coincidence. It's a funny thing for him to say, I guess. Airflight's thoughts. Airflight, read. Dully. Arg. Lines like arg in here. Beautifully, I think. So they may not be on the space station anymore. They may be these two ships chasing off to a planet, possibly. I don't know if it is technically a bottle show, but it's sort of a planet show. It's not the planet from the Kendrick system in it, I don't think. I think it's another planet. It's Firelight. Even though the Firelight system is mentioned, I don't think it is in this one. I'll have to check that. Anyway, so yeah, so it's probably another planet just to be different. Let's see. Yeah, let's get started. And this is a scene on page 110. We jump after the firefight between Night Racer and the Decepticons. Note that in the script that that is their fight on the Requiem bot, pertaining to them being trapped on the planet in the Fiery system. They're still on the station, basically. It makes more sense. Well, they go on the Requiem bot to escape from the station, so they're on their way out after the Autobots have already gone out. So the commanders have split up and they've gone out. Now they go through the space bridge to the planet that they're heading for, and then they get trapped. Note that the Autobots, Maxis Carta and Airflight, or Dragon Optimus. I hope I didn't call him Airflight in the story. I don't think I did. I just read their characters. They're still on the cargo ship. This is presumably the cargo ship's bridge, and that's why they're saying all that stuff. It's their bridge. So we're going to go on to the ship's bridge again. Very different looking bridge than the other bridges. And yeah, so we'll put it all together later with the post. We're much closer to the galactic hub. We are final destination. Galactic hub doesn't make sense. It's not a galactic empire. The hub of the empire, basically. Yeah. Well, we have to report this place to somebody. See, the reason I did that other scene was that they would be fired on the minute they figured out there was an explosion. So they would have had to have been like, the Decepticons would have had to have been not aware they did it. So they are aware they did it, but the Decepticons aren't. stockpile just exploded, and they don't know why. They haven't figured that one out yet. So yeah. Otherwise, yeah, their trick wouldn't have worked either. Anyway, so let's go on to. So this is I'm not gonna. I ramble on too much with the other episode. This is just making. I just started some scene, some of part 3. So cool. Yeah. So I did a little bit of that. Just the part where the Autobots are going to the shipyard. Apparently it is the Firelight system. So note that in the credits that it is. It's the same system. They took a space bridge to one of the other planets where the shipyard is, the waypoint. So they're not. They're still in the same solar system as in the space station and stuff. Because otherwise, how do they could use the space bridge, I guess, and they did. So well, they don't mention space bridges here. They mention warps and folds, but it's a space bridge. It just makes more sense that although they're not on the station anymore, they're still in the system, and they're going to find out why. It's a transfer point. It's a transfer point because there are shipyards in the system. It's a solar system. It's big. Solar system is really big. Often in science fiction movies, you get galactic empires and vast spaces and things like that, federations and things like that. And it's like really, a solar system is quite big. The Expanse knows that. I haven't seen that show, but I hear it's good. Yeah, it's like the solar system is big. You have the whole solar system do all kinds of clandestine things, and not even on Mars or something, or on Jupiter, not even or have Earth even know. So yeah, there's at all. So yeah, if they have spacefaring technology, and they couldn't have gotten too far away in a month because they didn't have any fold drives. So they must still be in the same solar system, the Firelight system. So yeah, that's where they are. They're in the Firelight system. They're just not at Kendrick 2. They're maybe at Kendrick 3 or 4, or one of the other planets in the system. It's named Kendrick after Kendrick. But it's a Firelight system. The Decepticons call it Firelight system. The script, it's the Fiery system, but I'm naming it after the Carta space rocket from 1986. Just adding an L, Firelight system. So there. Yes. Which Carta 86 was right after the shuttle disaster. So I referenced a shuttle being rescued as it fell down, and the G.I. Joe saved it. So yeah, that didn't happen in real life, but would have been cool. Yeah, they had like a detachable pod, and they went in and rescued it. That was in Carta. Which you'll never see because it has copyrighted music in it. Yeah. I'm not releasing the original Carta, but this will do as a replacement, as a sort of soft reboot. Now we go. Okay. March 30th. Scenes, page 100. They're in some kind of a bridge, but in this version it's the control center of the station, and they're not actually going to warp. They've just taken the bridge, is all that's going on. So we're going to try this. Waiting all day to do this. And I'm going to do this scene because I've been waiting all day to do this. So I'm going to do it. So yeah, the set would need to be redressed for the next scene where they all make their way to the bridge in the engine room. Yeah, just turn it around real quick. I know this isn't hardly anything at all. It's like nothing. Okay, let's pause. Yeah, I know this isn't hardly any filming at all tonight. But it's already 10. By the time I got around to having this set all set up and redressed and everything, I would have to. I did finish the scene while they're in the room, but that's gonna be it for tonight. We're gonna want into now March is March. I think we get one more day of March. I think so. Then April 1st is yeah. So yeah, they've. I want to make it look dynamic and interesting where they're going. I'm assuming they're taking the station. In the script it says they're taking Requiem Bot back, but they wouldn't be. So they find a ship on the station. It's not the Requiem Bot, so it's something else that they've discovered. Because clearly Max's Carta and the other guy took the other ship, the Raider ship, with them. But I've flipped them, and I've said that actually these guys have the ship, because that makes more sense. They're still on the station, though, in this scene. They're still there. They're still trying to take a vehicle out to go find the Autobots, basically. They wouldn't be taking the station, so... They are on the station, they're leaving the station. So, yeah, let's just see how that works out. But yeah, that's, unfortunately, that's a very little bit of footage, but at least it's in the can. Just to establish where they are. The Autobots are. Yeah. March 31st. We have two forces, Autobots and Decepticons, or two Autobot forces. One of them going the corridor that leads to the engine room, and one of them going the corridor that leads to the station's engineering section. Even though they really wouldn't be in the same place, that's the gag. They're not in the same place. We're going to make it look like... Yeah, so you're not going to go like this, because they're not supposed to be in the same room. They're in different parts of the ship. Okay, in the script, there's a mistake. In the script, it says that the sideways, the sure shot is switched for sideways in the script. I didn't do it, and Adam McCunn didn't do it. And it should be sideways. He's with Night Racer is with sideways, not sure shot. So, what's that? Alright, so the line is... We're cutting back... We've heard his voice, and now we're going to see him explain the compensator problem. Techno battle. Also, he's saying this over the comm systems. Decepticons know, which is kind of a dumb thing for him to do. But he is Wreck-Gar, so maybe he's not terribly bright when it comes to that. So it is April 1st, and this is a small scene, and it's late at night, so we're just going to do this small scene involving Pounce and Wingspan. Having been alerted, the Autobots have struck again, and that's... He's waiting for Pounce to... What's the Wingspan? Pounce, Wingspan, okay. This is Pounce. That's Wingspan, isn't that right? Check that. So, I am going to stop here, because the next time they show up is on page 123, 133. It's quite a bit later, and it's a different scene, a different set. So this was just a little brief thing, just to show these guys again. They are in the scene. It's not something we made up. It's in the script. It was back on, yeah, it was basically 109 to 110 and 111. Okay, so yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so one of the original cast of Starcrackers and Transtech is in the hospital, not with a coronavirus. It's something else related with a foot injury. So it's not Mark Scards, it's Tim this. So note that that's what's happened. I heard about that tonight. Yeah, so pray for him and all that stuff. When you find this video, you'll wonder what that's about. He's one of the set designer as on Transtech, the original Transtech. And of course the inspiration for some of the voices, such as the current Bulkhead character. It sounds like him a little bit. So oh yeah. Anyway, so there's just thought I'd mention that. April 1st. It's not an April Fool's thing. Anyway, okay. April 2nd, day shoot on the set of the Transtech, the Corrosion, where that ends. We have the Autobots meeting up with Megatron. The reveal in this episode is Megatron, and that guy is not supposed to be Megatron. The other guy is supposed to be the sort of pseudo twin brother from the other timeline. Kind of like how those primes are kind of primes. And the other guy is the guy that will this guy who dies, and later on in the script, will possess that guy. So yeah, instead of the other tank con, that guy, because that makes more sense. That guy looks more like Dredge in the script. And so it's not the tank con from the first story. That would be weird. Yeah, just giving away key points that will come up later. So yeah, doesn't matter because you're gonna see the episode, right? I know what's going on next, so there we go. Not much making footage. We're gonna go right to the action, and the grotesque scene later, out of the blue, seems to imply that that Punch has gone back to the station and is talking to Rekgar on the comm, and he's telling him that his ship, he's telling him that he's responsible for the ship, and Rekgar tries to convince him to give him the ship, to give him repairs, because Legis Maximus is alive, he's a Transformer. But there's yeah. The only way that works is that's on a view screen, and he's just talking to Rekgar on the view screen, because Grotesque can't be with Prime and Maximal here, and Punch can't be with the Autobots at Regis Maximus because they're clearly somewhere on the station in the cargo area, and the Decepticons and these two are on the space bridge somewhere apart from the station. They've gone somewhere else with the escape ship. They can't be in the same scene, in other words. So you either switch Punch for somebody else, or and have them on the ship like talking, or you switch it around the other way and have them talking. Yeah. Just as an aside, yeah. Morton Roadkill. Hello. Yes. Megatron. But it's phoned in. Yes. He's not actually here. Yeah. All right, the two closing scenes of the movie. We did a full day shooting 30 minutes of footage. This is the interrogation scene. Actually, maybe it's a little. Maybe I think it's a little too light. It might be a little too light. Yeah, let's cut back on the flood and put up the other one just to give it a sort of ambiance, because it's the final scene. Yeah. So first, I want to convey that this guy over here is visited by the ghost spark of this guy. To visually cue that and have him sort of behind him. Okay. Yeah, making of. This was filming day, final filming day on part 3. Having no new word on Tim's condition, except that he's in some kind of a rehab for his foot. He was not involved in making of this or anything, but he was involved in Transtech, the original, way back in the day, 10 years ago. So yeah, but yeah, so. Yeah, not so much Space Bridge, although he did donate to the plot. It was based on an earlier story that he and I and Jim Takon and Mark's Cards were kicking around. A bunch of earlier stories about what happened to Rick Hunter afterwards. So he was one of the Space Bridge, and Endless Circle is a Tim Cantrell inspired story. So yeah. Yeah, so it's one of his. Yeah, and this one is not. This one is Rob Powers, who we don't know. Yeah, this is the end of part 3, and we knew of him, well, vaguely from the boards, but not since. I'm assuming he's still around. And this is a fan film adaptation of his long novel.
At this point, ending part 3, we are halfway through it. So yeah, just about halfway. Going into part 4, we'll be halfway through it. In the middle of part 4 somewhere. Yeah, so we're almost halfway through. Part 3 was tighter and probably shorter than at least part 2. It was there was only one brief battle scene and one sort of knockout punch-out scene. There weren't as many characters. The remaining parts don't have as many characters. Basically, they kind of run out of them. I don't know how you would film this if you didn't have a whole buttload of Transformers. I do. So we went in the back and got out a bunch of other ones because we needed a proper Megatron that looked like time trapped and whatever. So we thought, well, the Cybertron Energon one kind of works. The purple Energon one is the Takara spin-off one, the Galvatron one, and the other the lighter one that looks more like Galvatron from G1 thing, Megatron colors, is the Megatron. But we flipped them in the story, and we're implying that in the episode, they fit better in terms of what the character is. He is basically the Megatron that he's Cybertron Energon Megatron from out of the timeline somewhere. They both are, and they kind of throw back to the end of the last Space Bridge and the Children of the Shadow story, where there were two of the Galvatron Megatrons fighting each other, and then they went into the cities and became the cities' heads, and the cities fought. So remarkably similar to Macross Delta, which at that point I hadn't seen. I had only heard rumors about the SDF ships fighting each other as giant robots, and they're essentially using the same idea, at the same time, pretty much, which is awesome. I think theirs came out a little earlier, but I didn't know about it, so it didn't. But yeah, the idea of two titanic giant robots fighting is not. Yeah, I mean they've been doing that for years. But yeah, so. Yeah, so the Jeff Goldblum sounding Galvatron character is in the script Dredge or Starblast and something else. I think that was his name. Sort of a flying jet robot changer dude. That fits the description better than the tank guy. So I thought, what if it's that guy instead? What if we introduce not just Megatron, because that would look like there's only one Decepticon there, but the other guy. And also because Ex-Lawbot kind of disappears from Book 3 and is never mentioned again. Really never mentioned again. He's one of I decided that he's one of the Decepticons that is being threatened with destruction in the story. We don't know if that's what happened to him. But when Alicon shows up, she looks like him. Did he get rebuilt as Alicon? Probably not. That's probably not what happened. We're just not sure. So I think he's going to show up again anyway, even though it's not in the script, because there were two nondescript Decepticons and there was Darklight as well. And we thought that, why can't Darklight just be this Galvatron dude? That makes more sense. He's there. Why not use him? And he's space bridged over. We did correct an error where there would have been an error where they found the body of Optimus and got it out of there by using the technology of the space bridge. Threw that in there. Said that, he used the space bridge to bring the body back. Okay. And they have the Ghost terrorizing Galvatron there, which is funny. Because the Ghost would terrorize Galvatron more than it would terrorize Megatron. Megatron would just be like, ah. And Megatron looks more like the TV Galvatron, which is interesting. But it's they're clearly delineated. One's clearly purple, and the other's clearly kind of a gray. They're a different version of them. I imagine the other Megatrons will show up as other Decepticons. In the same way Drago Optimus Prime is sort of the Dragon, Year of the Dragon Optimus Prime from I think that's from Dark of the Moon. That's what that is. Yeah. Also Tim just mentioned that he has seen the Transformer movies, the latest, all the way up to Bumblebee, and he's seen and he kind of liked the Unicron in the Earth thing, which was kind of silly. I thought maybe it was a base in the Earth. That kind of makes sense. He's like, yeah, that would probably make a little more sense. But yeah, and other goofy stuff in the last night. He watched last night, and you also watch Age of Extinction. And he's all like, "Yeah, those characters are totally us." It was weird. He's all like, "Yeah, what? That was weird." The one guy's called Jaeger, Kate Jaeger. But yeah, okay, Mark's cards are. But yeah, what else? So when did Michael Bay just hire you guys? Probably would have been better. Probably would have. No, he still can if he wants to. Anyway, so that's our Corrosion of War for the night, and we did a whole day of filming, 12 hours, and knocked out the entire story, the rest of it, and then we'll just put it together, release it by probably, usually by Saturday or Sunday or somewhere in there, and yeah, so that's it. That's all I got. I'm not going to ramble. I got it. Yeah, so we had a little bit of Megatron in there, and just enough to be interesting, and not too much. We had throwback to the other thing, and the leaving the troops behind thing, because apparently Dragon Optimus is kind of a not the model soldier that he thinks he is. He shouldn't do that. That's bad. Leave the soldiers behind. Yeah, and he's not mocking the Marines or anything. He's just thinks he is a important badass. It's not. Yeah, he's just not. Yeah, the hoo-ah thing is not a hoorah. It's a hoo-ah. It's a nod to the Johnny Bravo. So he's Elvis Johnny Bravo, Elvis impersonator. Johnny Bravo was a character on Cartoon Network who was imitating Elvis, but he had blonde hair. And years ago there was a guy playing him at a Bacon convention. I think it was 2013. And there's a guy was dressed up as him, and nobody could figure it out because they were like younger millennials. And they couldn't figure it out. I walked up. It was just out of a coincidence thing. And walked up there. It might have been 2014 actually. I walked up there and I was all like, "It's like, oh, it's Johnny Bravo." He's all, "Finally, somebody got this." It's like nobody else could get it. You got it. Yeah, it's a Cartoon Network guy. So, oh, of course. Yeah. Here's what you got to do though. You got to do the Elvis. He's Elvis. He's like a kung fu Elvis guy. So if you do the Elvis voice, then they'll get it. So oh yeah. Thank you very much. And, whoa. Yeah. So whoa. Do that a lot, then they'll get it. I don't know if it worked or not, but that was back when Space Bridge was a new thing we were making back in the day. Oh yeah, but yeah, so yeah, we can keep going with it. So we're gonna finish Corrosion of War without it. Locked in the house. Well, not locked in, but locked down for the COVID thing that's going around. So everyone here and figure, well, why not do the miniseries? Because there's nothing else. Wait a minute. If you're looking at the engines, who's flying the ship? Wait a minute. If you're looking at the engines, who's flying the ship? What? Okay, the scene is meant to be in two places at once. In the script, it says that he is on the ship. Oh God! Come on! Oh, no! Air flight. I mean, Dragon Optimus. Dragon Optimus.